husband likes it when he can hear me better. All right, it's a little better. All right, guys, so 1980 was when we became a national park, but prior to that we were a national monument. 1968 marked the year. So we were under the administration of... No, Carter in 80. Carter was in 80. And so, yes, we were signed in as a national park. So we're focusing on education, recreation, scenic vista, and we also focus on culture and history. So right now we're going to check off all of those boxes just on this trip alone. There's so many cool things to learn about the park, to see in our park, and I'll cover it all. History, flora and fauna, and of course if you have any questions, by all means ask, and if you see any wildlife, by all means interrupt, because it's always, you know, worth checking out some cool wildlife. We've got dolphins, manatees, turtles, a few different species of turtles, and of course a bunch of birds. Now, do keep in mind, but this path is actually made up of the spoils of dredging this channel. So our channel's about 10 feet deep, and all the dredge spoils are right up here. This provides wonderful habitat for fish and for birds, depending on where the tide is at. So right now our tide is up. We would have had to have cut right across our beautiful bay, smashed through the coral reefs in order to access the Atlantic. And then, of course, 2 miles of our coastline would have been dedicated to a mooring field, another 40 feet deep. Would you believe he told everybody, that's not going to harm the environment, guys, I've done this before. Well, luckily, there were people who knew he was full of it. And there was one woman in particular, Juanita Green, a journalist, on her own time and dime, she researched this guy's handiwork. And she found out that not only had he been chased out of other cities that wanted nothing to do with him, but his previous projects had been tremendously offensive to the environment. She wrote it all up in a pamphlet. She handed it out door to door. Her contributions, the contributions of boycotting pilots, environmentally savvy locals, legislators who grew up on the bay, inventors, they all collaborated. They all contributed something of passion, their skills, their knowledge, and they ended up saving the bay. It was a 20-year battle. Daniel Ludwig wasn't playing around. Billionaires don't drinking, then diving bird. But let me first give you a heads up. We're going to pick up speed now, and I want you to make sure that your hats are attached well to your heads. originates in Africa. The story goes that he was a very robust man, a very clever man. He was able to evade slavers. This story takes place in the late 1600s. So he's able to evade slavers until, unfortunately, he was duped, he was loaded onto a slave ship, and he was bound for America. Now, it is without, there's no arguing that the conditions on slave ships were deplorable. The captives were treated heinously, but the crew wasn't treated that much better either. The captains on these vessels, as you can imagine, were horrible creatures. They were horrible men. And so it didn't take much convincing for Black Caesar to talk one of the sailors into defecting. And during the hurricane, a hurricane that affected them, they took a lifeboat and they escaped, and the slave ship sunk to the bottom of the ocean with everyone else on board. So they washed up on these islands over here. We don't know which one exactly, but somewhere near here. And they ran a little shenanigan for a while, a very clever shenanigan that got them very rich. So they would pretend to need rescue. They were shipwreck survivors that would typically need rescue, but not these two. When they flagged down a passing vessel, and that vessel came in and generously offered help, Black Caesar and his comrade robbed them and probably killed them. But we're going to focus on the positives here. So they got very rich doing this. In fact, after a short time, they were able to hire their own crew of scallywags and get their own pirate ship, which they probably stole that too. But again, the positives. So now they have a phenomenal advantage. First, the Florida Straits right here, perilous. The reef is very shallow and it is continuous, and it doesn't take much to run aground here. If you're off by a few feet on your course, if you are stuck in a storm, you're going to meet the reef. And so, wreck salvaging was actually a profession here that put Key West on the map as one of the richest cities in the United States at one point. But I digress. So, Black Caesar is back here waiting behind these islands. These islands give him cover. And so he careens his vessel just enough to get the tip of the mast below that tree line. And now he's able to hide out from British, who, the British Navy is hot on the heels of every pirate at this point, and he's able to hide out from his prey. So pirates are not idiots. They don't go after every ship that goes by, and they're certainly less likely to attack a galleon. Yes, they're loaded with gold, but they're also equipped with arms and guards. Well, what isn't equipped with arms and guards? Merchant vessels. And they're coming from the triangle trade with goods from all around the world. So this is a grab bag for these guys. So they just sit back here behind these islands, and as soon as they see the right ship flying any flag, now they're pirates, not privateers, they have no allegiance to any nation. And so once they see that prey that they're ready for, they spring into action, they cut across that dangerous reef, and they board and attack. And of course, pirate attacks are violent. Yes, they demand the valuables, they kidnap prisoners, they take prisoners. If people are not forthcoming with their valuables, they're going to get hurt. They're going to lose an ear or a nose. So it's best to just play along with pirates, okay? So if this ever happens to us while we're out here today, we're going to play along. We're going to give them your watch. I'm going to hide mine. So now, as far as prisoners go, it's kind of a side hustle. It's a cool side hustle. You can ransom off people of value, like an officer or a governor's daughter. That's a good side hustle. Male prisoners were kept over here in stone huts. This is Elliott Key. Right over here is Caesar's Rock. Caesar's Rock became the home of the women prisoners. All right, so this is where the women were kept, and they were treated to date night when the pirates weren't out pillaging. Get it? We'll leave it at that. Prisoners were also taken for other reasons. If someone could provide a service to the pirates, right? Pirates had to eat. So if they came across a cook, boom, you're working for the pirates now. If they came across a doctor, right? Pirates are always getting hurt in the line of duty. What about a navigator, a carpenter to repair the ships? These were all professions that pirates coveted. And I'll tell you what, most people went willingly because pirates offered things that other sailors did, and other captains, they were kind of, they were stern. Maybe a little bit egocentric. Pirates were fair. They had democracy before it was a household word. They had workers' comp before anybody knew what it even was. So a lot of people went willingly into the service of a pirate ship. So eventually our pirate got very wealthy, and he decided to team team up with none other than Blackbeard. That's right, Edward Teach himself. Yep. And so the two of them sailed together on the Queen Anne's Revenge. Blackbeard serving as lieutenant to, Black Caesar serving as lieutenant to Blackbeard. And this was probably a holy alliance, because I'm sure between the two of them they were able to cause a lot of trouble on the eastern seaboard and throughout the Caribbean. Until we all know, Edward Teach ran the Queen Anne's Revenge aground right off the coast of Beaufort, North Carolina. Ship sunk to the bottom of the ocean. The Navy caught up shortly thereafter with Blackbeard and relieved him of his head. They really did not like him. And then Black Caesar was sent up to Williamsburg, Virginia, where he met the noose. Not an uncommon fate for a pirate. Now, despite the charges against him, I say innocent until proven guilty. And we have honored him by naming this water passage Caesar's Creek. All hail. Huh. Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, guys, there's another story that goes along with this area. And our ship looks so beautiful there, doesn't it? It does look pretty cool. Sailing against that dark sky. So, another story that goes along with this area is a little more fact than fun, but it's a fantastic story nonetheless. And it has a lot to do with the birth of our park. And it starts in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, 1858. Write that down. There's a quiz. And Israel Lafayette Jones is born. And he was likely born into slavery, but lucky for us, he was able to leave that life behind and get on down here to sunny South Florida, where he wanted to practice farming. And so initially, he worked in the Cape Florida area, which is now Key Biscayne. And he was caretaker of a pineapple plantation, among other properties. He also put in time at the Peacock Inn in Coconut Grove. It was there that he met and married his wife, Moselle. Moselle was a Bahamian woman, and Bahamians often came up into these waters for a myriad of jobs. Now, I know if you look around yourself right now, you're like, what would they possibly do? These islands are so thickly vegetated, thin layer of soil on pockmarked lime rock, mosquitoes up the wazoo, storms, like why would anybody, right? But they did, and they came here to fish, wreck salvage, turtle, sponge, catch crabs and lobsters, turning these mangroves into charcoal, turning the hardwoods into useful lumber. Coontie could be turned into starch. Farming was huge up here. Moselle didn't do any of those things though, guys. Set you up. She was a cook. She was a cook at the Peacock Inn. So they meet, they marry. Luckily he's got someone to cook good meals for him now, because he's got a lot of hard work ahead of him. They decide they want to be owners of their own property so they can properly farm. And so fortunate we are, because they chose Porgy Key, which is just 2 islands to the south of us. A little booger of an island. They got it for 300 beans, and they end up farming pineapples and key limes. And of course, the labor required to do this is immeasurable. They had to clear the land of the vegetation, of the mangroves and the hardwoods. They actually had to chisel through the lime rock in order to get their ship Lone Star up to the island so they could load it up with their wares. And they were incredibly successful. For a little while there, the Jones family produced the majority of key limes entering mainland USA, loaded up on Henry Flagler's railroad, and up the coast it went to New York socialized drinks. And it was amazingly successful. They had a couple of boys. They had, don't laugh, King Arthur and Sir Lancelot. No Lady Guinevere. Just 2 boys. And Lance and Arthur, of course, followed in their dad's footsteps, the farming footsteps. And so they made so much money, of course, they were able to buy 2 more islands, bigger islands, Old Rhodes and Totten Key. And it is the sheer size of these islands that makes the ending of this story so impactful, so important. So, they're farming, and finally, there comes from her injuries. Mark remarried and sold the island to a yacht club who later sold it to the parks. Understandably, he was not able to enjoy this island any longer. She fell.
He did wait a few years before he got there.
He did, yeah. It wasn't like the next day. Some people say that he pushed her down. Doesn't happen. That he pushed her down the stairs of the lighthouse. What happened was there's a kitchen over here. It's gone now. It's probably wood. And their stairs were out. There was a today around the island. Look for wildlife: sharks, rays, cormorants, crabs, pufferfish, all kinds, sergeant majors, all kinds of fish. You just gotta look. You're never gonna see nature if you're not patient. Then this island to the north is Ragged 5. There's a natural bird rookery on that island. All kinds of birds coming and going. Right across here is a beautiful little beach. Have fun, go swimming, go snorkeling. Just be mindful of that current.
Oh.
There's a modern day bathhouse right here. It's not a featured attraction, but if you have to go to the bathroom, you're gonna want that. And then there's a trail. It starts, you know where we were coming in and you saw the walls had like an opening in it? Walk down through that opening, you'll cross a little bridge, the trail snakes down to the south side of the island, there's a little beach down there, comes out over kind of by the garage. Be mindful of mosquitoes. If you start on that trail and you find the mosquitoes are getting you, you might not want to, you know, make the whole loop, but it takes about 15 minutes to do that. Now, I am going to head over and open up the lighthouse, and I'll leave it open for about 20 minutes. So if you'd like to do that first, you know, you can join me. And again, as long as you're back to the boat at 4:10.
How long a trail? How long a trail?
The trail's about 15 minutes to walk.
Look.
There are sometimes mosquitoes, yes.
No, nothing. No.
That's okay.
We've been in Everglades, so that's okay, no problem.
Even I have the mosquito repellent with me, but
I know. They stayed longer because of that fresh water. And if you go down to the lower keys, up here, though, people stayed a great deal longer. I think fresh water. So this bay has upwelling. It did. Fresh water upwelling.
mấy thằng có tiền nó sướng.
Chịu quá.
Đúng. Quay phim chứ.
Đúng.
Em đều đem cái khăn rồi em.
Còn cái gì không cần.
Hồi gió cũng có khô này.
Anh nghĩ chắc không bao giờ ấy đây mày. Không bao giờ bơi đâu. Cái đi dòng thôi.
Mẹ không đi cái ấy đâu, đi cái trail.
Đi trail gì đâu.
Không vô trail mà.
Đi. Nhanh chừng là chụp luôn. Không bao giờ đi đây là cái sai này đi cái sai kia chụp chỗ cái island đó để không biết cái location này. Mosquito. Dần dần thôi. Tắm nó mất giờ lắm. Ôi ôi, con ấy kìa, kìa nhông. Ra qua. chụp đây anh cho.
Story that goes along with this nuclear power plant. Back in the 20s, when they drained the Everglades, there were many animals that were affected, and the crocodile was one of the most affected. I know that crocodiles seem like very rugged beasts, but they're quite sensitive animals, and they nearly went extinct because of the drainage of the glades. They lost a lot of habitat, and they're very.
Hay em, hay anh thích á. Ticket.
It must be by share online.
Oh man. Ôi ôi. Có lần không?
Muốn vô chụp hình phải trả tiền riêng đấy nha.
Ồ vậy. Vô chụp hình gì?
Nhưng mà chụp hình như vậy là nó nói photo phải trả extra.
Nhưng mà mình chụp đâu sao hả? Mình
đâu phải
special. Anh chưa đọc cái story chỗ này tại là sao không biết. Nó không cho một xua gì hết nè. Không hỏi nó nữa. Ồ, đẹp quá hả? Ừ. Ừ, rất là hay.
Ba với mẹ chụp không?
nó hấp hấp. Rồi không này. Hấp. Đi qua đây em, đây là chưa đi nè. Hả?
Dạ vâng đây. Đi đây. Hay á.
Cái này guest room á.
Đâu, bedroom chứ.
Không, guest. Đây. Cái để là guest bedroom.
Oh, guest bedroom.
Cái tên.
Hấp.
Ông muốn từ Chicago.
что-то тут закрыли, по-моему, там раньше можно было проходить, там спускали на этом лестнице и подавали туда.
Ôi ôi. Cái này có giống như mình nè. Ồ, này đi qua kia thôi à. Đúng rồi hợp. Lạ chứ. Hay giống như là hay.
Dưới cái thời nào của mình xã hội nhân loại đây là có tiền không có tiền như tiền chẳng ai đâu. Tại sao không lấy cây vịt cây vậy? Mấy cái nhà này nó làm nó không đủ, nhà nó để vậy
Đó ở đây đẹp dễ sợ không đúng.
để trên in ngay trước cửa nhà.
Này quyến phủ mà đâu có nói đâu. Nữa là rất hay. Nếu mà tăng giá trị nhà bằng cái này nữa. Nhà hơn nữa là Florida nữa, nóng nữa. Đẹp quá.
Khu này khu nhà đẹp không à. Florida nó chừng có 100 mấy chục tuổi chứ bao nhiêu, 125 năm mà.
John Graham Coral National Park and Coral Park. Oh, right here.
Turn left, then your destination will be on the right.
All right. Hay á. Giờ thấy nhìn sơ sơ là thấy hay rồi đó.
Your destination is on the right.
Và ra đậu chỗ mấy cái gốc cây á, cho cái xe nó mát lại.
Tại đường này mất kia không, một sáng đi kia hơi lâu. Ôi ôi, uống được gì vui ạ. Downtown Miami by night. Downtown Miami. Downtown Miami.
destination.
Cái gì nữa hả? Qua đi trễ không cần phải bán vé, không cần mua ticket.
Cái đóng cửa nó cho vô bên trong.
Cái hãng không bên trong bên ngoài đây. Cũng được. Ôi gỗ trì nè. Thế sao? Không, cái này nó giờ anh em leo để đi leo anh chụp cái.
Nó kêu đi do not ấy.
Thì biết.
Step on three roots.
Ồ.
Cái ổ sau cái cây này nó produce rubber nha. Cái plastic đó. Cái sao này.
Maya Beach. We on the way to Fort Maya Beach. Here we go. We storm coming tomorrow, so 7, level 7, so that's a heavy storm. So that's why raining. My beach right here. Oh, nice. My beach.
Hôm trước mình đi cái chỗ mà Pensacola là tháng mấy ta?
Tháng
Tháng mấy mà xong biển nó vắng tanh không có ai. Nhớ không, xuống cái bãi biển gì đó.
Đi tháng 6.
Pensacola.
Tháng 6. Planike. Rồi do cái bên đảo bên ấy đó. Hawaii đó.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto Ohio Avenue.
Ủa, nó chưa nói à?
September and October. Yeah, that makes sense. What are you parking at? Across the bridge.
Đi lại mấy cái shop coi chơi. And sense of celebration. Vui chứ, Mỹ enjoy nè, không tiền nữa enjoy nè.
Nó để dành tiền chứ nó đi qua kia nó đi.
Hi, morning. Rồi Henry Ford nè, Henry Ford nè em. Đó hay chứ.
Back up to 10.
No, it's not your house.